This video is an extract from an interview where an art professional shares their top tips for artists. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoy this video. Welcome everybody to this webinar on the Art Ladder. And tonight our guest is Alison Bevan. So really quick introduction, but she'll tell you way better than I can. Alison dedicated her entire career to working in public museums and galleries. She spent 14 years in Wales, 14 years in Cornwall, and then 11 years as director of the RWA in Bristol.
Please don't do the maths.
No, don't do the math. So, which stands for Royal West of England Academy. She's going to tell us all about that, but she expanded the RWA's exhibition program and educational program, reaching wider audiences than ever before. She also secured funding, including 5 million to renovate the building and make it even nicer and more open to the public. So, Alison, we really can't wait to pick your brains.
Great. Well, thank you so much for inviting me to do this. And I feel very honoured. So I will try to make it interesting and useful to you all as artists as I possibly can. The message that I've been trying to put out to everybody involved with the RWA is I want everybody who comes into the building, regardless of what their background is, what knowledge they're coming with or whatever, to go out of the building feeling happier than when they came in. It is such a beautiful and uplifting building, and it's art. You know, there should be something that makes your heart sing. We started, when I first joined the RWA, a policy of saying we are going to put historic work in a contemporary context, contemporary work in a historic context. That's because our main space has massive high levels of visible light. So most museum collection won't lend to it. We can't get government indemnity, which you need to borrow from the nationals. The side galleries do. So in theory, we can borrow from any museum or gallery, any great work of art, and we have, and we've borrowed Turner and Constable and Joseph Wright of Derby and Chagall and all sorts in there. But by putting these two together, I feel that we've hit on an alchemy where the people who think that art started in 1970 will come in because they can see contemporary art by some of the leading artists of the day. And they'll be introduced to paintings that perhaps they wouldn't have gone to the museum to see. And in the side galleries, that attracts the people who think that art stopped at 1920. They come in reassured by the security blanket of something historic. And my favourite moment in how that policy has worked was when we had an exhibition on the theme of air, where the end gallery of the end wall of the main gallery space had a piece by, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong, but Bernard Smil, who's a Dutch artist who had created a cloud in our beautiful marble-clad dome. And there was this photo mural of this cloud floating in the dome. And the side galleries, we had Turner and Constable and so on. And we had the then Lord Mayor to open the exhibition, and she was a lovely lady. You never know with a Lord Mayor, they just do a year, they're councillors elected. And I got her out of her chauffeur-driven limousine and I said, don't know what you've been told about the exhibition, but we've got Turner and Constable. Oh, I like Constable. I've been to an exhibition of Constable and Lowry. And she said, oh, he's a bit modern for me. And I thought, oh God. How's she going to react? You know, we had some fabulous artists in that show. Anyway, in her opening speech, she said, well, I came here tonight thinking that I didn't like contemporary art, but I've completely fallen in love with Bernard Smilt and with, I think it was Gemma Gunning, whose little paintings that she fell for. It's that audience who would never go and see a show in Bristol on Orfini or Spike because it's too modern for them. But actually, by holding them by the hand and bringing them in, there is something for everybody. Sorry, I keep doing stream of consciousness. I'll let you ask some questions.
By all means, I'm just sitting back and relaxing. It's great. Okay, so just for context, you have been director of the RWA for 11 years. The RWA and you have just announced that you're moving on to a new and exciting phase of your career, but after 11 years, there's going to be a new director of the RWA. And maybe you can tell us a bit about what your role as director was. And I know that a big part of what you did was the exhibition programs, the funding, and thinking about how the institution can keep having that exhibition program and everything while having money coming in and operating.
Yeah, and times are hard. I don't need to tell anybody on this call that times are hard. So the RWA was founded in, actually, I will give a little bit of history in that we were founded in 1844 by a woman. And because of that, right from the outset, we've had women at the heart of our organisation, including female members almost from the off. We, again, from the outset, have had an art school within our building. It's always been about training people in art as well. And the first woman to attend our life drawing class at what was then Bristol Academy was in 1847. And we think that's the first time in the world that women were allowed access to parallel art training as men. We've always had that. We had our first woman president in 1911. Anyway, enough on the history. But we have always been completely independent, and we remain completely independent. I have tried twice now to get us NPO funding, National Portfolio, regular funding from the Arts Council. The first time it was a long shot, and I knew it was. The second time, the most recent, we were encouraged to apply, and we are genuinely reaching people now who cannot access art anywhere else. We are fulfilling Let's Create, the Arts Council's sort of manifesto, in ways that nobody else in the city or region is able to do. And we didn't get it. So from the 1st of April, we have zero public subsidy, and our operating costs, a lot of which are about our charitable work, working with some of those underserved audiences, are up around £1 million a year. So literally everything has to be earned or raised. People have criticised us that it is wrong that we charge people for submission to the Open. We don't stack up unless we do that. Every penny that goes in is not going into lining pockets, it's going into keeping us as a charity afloat. We also make money from selling work. So we need to build that, and we need to do more of that, but that helps the artist and it helps the RWA because we get our share of the commission. So most of my job for the last 11 years has been about fundraising. It's been about engaging audiences, but the chair of another one of our comparator organisations I had a meeting with recently, and they said, we've come to the conclusion that art exhibitions don't pay. It costs so much to put on these major exhibitions now that the tickets are never going to do it. It is all those other forms of making money that you have to concentrate on, without losing the fact that you are first and foremost an art gallery. And unless we've got that, people can smell a mile off if you're trying to make money out of them. From day one at the RWA, I've said, if we want to go bankrupt, the fastest way of doing it is to set out to make money. The only way that we will stay afloat is by being an amazing art gallery that people have great experiences in and feel proud to be a part of, whether that's by buying a ticket, by buying an annual art pass, by being a patron, or submitting their work. So we have to do good things, inspire people with creativity, give free admission to the people who need it, and all under 21s are free to access the gallery. It's only by having that ethos we have to do that. And I'm so thrilled that the successor who's been appointed to take over from me gets that in spades. She's an amazing woman called Ren Renwick, and proper name's Helen, but known as Ren. And I know that what excites her is providing inspiration to people, nurturing people, supporting artists in their careers, and unleashing the power of creativity for everyone.
Thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch the full 1-hour interview and get top tips from an expert, then click the link below and join the Art Ladder mentoring program now. By joining the Art Ladder, you will get access to our full library of webinars with curators, collectors, critics, gallerists, and more. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this, and check out the description below for more free resources for artists.